Have you ever woken up 3, 4, or even 5 times a night, dragging yourself to the bathroom, only to feel like you're not quite done? Or maybe you've noticed a nagging pressure, a weaker stream, or that frustrating dribble that makes you feel like your body's betraying you. Gentlemen, if you're over 60, these aren't just signs of aging. They're red flags that your daily toilet habits could be silently damaging your prostate. As a prostate doctor with over 40 years of experience, I'm begging you to stop these 5 common mistakes before they rob you of your sleep, your comfort, and your confidence. Stick with me until the end of this video, because I'm sharing simple, life-changing fixes that have helped thousands of men reclaim their nights and their dignity. Real solutions you can start today to protect your prostate and live better tomorrow. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1. Rushing through your bathroom break. A silent prostate saboteur. Imagine the scene. You dash into the bathroom, handle your business with the speed of a Formula 1 pit stop, and you're back to your day in under 20 seconds. For many men over 60, this is the default mode, a quick in and out that feels efficient, almost like a badge of productivity in a fast-paced world. But here's the harsh reality. This habit is quietly wreaking havoc on your prostate, setting the stage for problems that could disrupt your life in ways you never anticipated. As men age, the bladder and the muscles that control urination, the detrusor muscle and the pelvic floor, lose some of their youthful strength and coordination. This natural decline means it takes a bit longer for the bladder to fully empty. When you rush, you're likely leaving behind residual urine, a small but dangerous pool that lingers in the bladder. This stagnant urine becomes a breeding ground for bacteria, increasing the risk of urinary tract infections, UTIs, that can irritate the bladder lining and put undue pressure on the prostate gland. Over time, this chronic irritation can contribute to benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, a condition where the prostate enlarges and squeezes the urethra, making urination even more difficult. Worse, the constant pressure from incomplete emptying can lead to bladder wall thickening or even bladder stones, both of which amplify prostate strain and discomfort. Let me tell you about Tom, a 68-year-old retired firefighter with a handshake like a vice grip and a no-nonsense attitude to match. Tom prided himself on his efficiency, including his lightning-fast bathroom breaks. "In and out, no fuss," he'd say with a grin. But over time, he started noticing problems. Waking up 4 or 5 times a night to urinate, a weak stream that felt like it was barely getting started, and a nagging sensation that his bladder was never truly empty. By the time he saw a urologist, tests revealed chronic urinary retention. His bladder was holding on to significant amounts of urine after each trip to the bathroom. The culprit? Years of rushing through urination, never giving his bladder the time it needed to fully contract. This had caused inflammation and put relentless pressure on his prostate, exacerbating his symptoms. The solution, thankfully, was simpler than Tom expected, but it required a shift in mindset, the pause that protects. Here's how it works. When you think you're done urinating, don't zip up and bolt. Instead, pause for 10 to 15 seconds. Relax, take a few deep breaths, and let your bladder muscles complete their work. You might notice a second or even third wave of urine, a sign that your bladder is finally emptying fully. This small act of patience can significantly reduce residual urine, easing the strain on your bladder and prostate. Over time, this habit can cut down on those disruptive nighttime trips to the bathroom, reduce the risk of infections, and help keep your prostate healthier. It's not glamorous, but it's a game changer. For Tom, adopting this practice not only reduced his nighttime wake-ups to 1 or 2, but also restored a sense of control over his body. So the next time you're tempted to rush, remember, a few extra seconds now could save your prostate and your sleep down the road. Actionable tips to protect your prostate. Practice the pause. After urinating, wait 10 to 15 seconds to ensure your bladder is fully empty. Shift your weight or gently contract your pelvic muscles to encourage complete emptying. Stay hydrated, but time it right. Drink plenty of water throughout the day, but taper off in the evening to reduce nighttime urination. Monitor your symptoms. If you notice a weak stream, frequent urges, or a feeling of incomplete emptying, consult a urologist to rule out BPH or other prostate issues. Strengthen your pelvic floor. Simple Kegel exercises, contracting and relaxing the muscles you use to stop urination, can improve bladder control and support prostate health. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 2. Straining on the toilet. A hidden prostate punisher. This one sneaks up on men, often catching even the health-conscious by surprise. You're on the toilet, trying to get things moving, and you find yourself pushing harder than you'd like to admit. It feels like a normal part of life, especially if you've dealt with occasional constipation. But here's the kicker. Straining during a bowel movement isn't just a gut issue, it's a direct assault on your prostate, and the damage adds up over time in ways you might not expect. Your prostate gland sits in a precarious position, nestled right next to your rectum in the pelvic cavity. Every time you strain excessively during a bowel movement, you're creating intense pressure in the pelvic region. This pressure doesn't just affect your bowels, it compresses the prostate, disrupts blood flow, and triggers inflammation in the surrounding tissues. Over the years, this repeated strain can weaken the pelvic floor muscles, contribute to chronic pelvic pain, and even exacerbate conditions like prostatitis, inflammation of the prostate, or BPH. The inflammation can cause symptoms like a burning sensation during urination, pelvic discomfort, or a persistent feeling of pressure that makes sitting uncomfortable. For some men, this chronic strain can even contribute to erectile dysfunction by affecting the nerves and blood vessels in the pelvic region. Consider George, a 74-year-old grandfather with a love for strong coffee and a lifelong habit of reading the newspaper on the toilet. For years, George battled constipation, often spending 10 to 15 minutes straining to pass hard stools. He thought it was just part of aging, until he started feeling a constant pelvic pressure that wouldn't go away, and a burning sensation when he urinated. A visit to his doctor revealed an inflamed prostate, not due to infection or cancer, but because of years of excessive straining. The diagnosis hit George hard. He'd never connected his bathroom habits to his prostate health. His doctor explained that Novak Djokovic explained that the strain from constipation was essentially squeezing his prostate every time, causing chronic inflammation and discomfort. The good news? George's condition was reversible with some straightforward changes. The first step was to stop forcing it. Straining is a choice, not a necessity, and waiting until you're desperate only makes it worse. Instead, George learned to respond to the urge promptly, ideally within 5 to 10 minutes, to avoid the need to push. His doctor also recommended a small footstool to elevate his feet during bowel movements, mimicking the natural squatting position that aligns the rectum for easier passage and reduces pelvic pressure. To keep things moving smoothly, George added fiber-rich foods to his diet, oatmeal with berries for breakfast, prunes as a snack, and ground flaxseed in his smoothies. Within weeks, his bowel movements became regular, and the pelvic pressure began to subside. For George, these changes weren't just about comfort, they were about giving his prostate the break it desperately needed. This isn't just about your bowels. It's about protecting a vital organ that plays a huge role in your quality of life. Chronic straining can silently fuel prostate issues, but with a few intentional changes, you can stop the cycle and give your body the relief it's been craving. Actionable tips to reduce straining and protect your prostate. Use a stool or squatty potty. Elevate your feet with a small stool, 6 to 8 inches high, to align your rectum and reduce the need to strain. This mimics a natural squatting position, which is gentler on your pelvic floor. Boost fiber intake. Aim for 25 to 35 grams of fiber daily with foods like whole grains, oatmeal, quinoa, fruits, prunes, apples, pears, vegetables, broccoli, carrots, and seeds, flaxseed, chia. Gradual increases prevent bloating. Stay hydrated. Drink 8 to 10 cups of water daily to soften stools and ease bowel movements. Herbal teas or warm water with lemon can also help. Time your bathroom breaks. Don't delay bowel movements. Respond within 5 to 10 minutes of the urge to avoid constipation and straining. Consider psyllium husk. A natural fiber supplement like psyllium husk can promote regularity if dietary fiber isn't enough. Start with a small dose and follow with plenty of water. Consult a doctor if needed. If constipation persists, see a healthcare provider to discuss underlying causes or safe laxative options. Exercise regularly. Physical activity, like walking or yoga, stimulates bowel motility and supports overall pelvic health. By adopting these habits, you're not just easing your bathroom experience. You're taking a proactive step to safeguard your prostate from the hidden damage of straining. Your body will thank you for it. 3. Standing to pee at night. The ego trap that's hurting you. Let's get real, gentlemen. This one might bruise the ego a bit. For decades, many men have lived by an unspoken rule: real men stand to pee. It's a habit ingrained in us from childhood, a symbol of masculinity that feels as natural as breathing. But if you're over 60 and still standing to urinate in the middle of the night, you could be unknowingly setting your prostate up for trouble. This isn't about questioning your manhood. It's about understanding how a simple change in habit can protect your health and restore your quality of life. As we age, the body's systems slow down, especially at night. Your bladder control weakens, your pelvic floor muscles, those unsung heroes that help regulate urination, become less responsive, and your nervous system takes a bit longer to coordinate the complex act of fully emptying the bladder. When you stand to pee in the middle of the night, groggy and half asleep, several things happen. First, you're more likely to rush, eager to get back to bed. Second, the standing position can cause subtle swaying or tension in your pelvic muscles, which hinders complete bladder emptying. The result? Residual urine lingers in your bladder, creating a perfect environment for irritation, inflammation, and even infections. This leftover urine puts constant pressure on your prostate, exacerbating conditions like benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, or prostatitis. While you're sleeping, when your body should be repairing and healing, that stagnant urine is silently aggravating your prostate, leading to more frequent nighttime trips, a weaker stream, and that frustrating feeling of never being done. Let me tell you about Carl, a 71-year-old Vietnam veteran with a larger-than-life personality and a stubborn streak to match. Carl was the kind of guy who could stare down any challenge, and he scoffed at the idea of sitting down to pee. "That's for kids or old ladies," he'd grumble, his voice dripping with disdain. But Carl was paying a price for his pride. For years, he was waking up 4 or 5 times a night, dragging himself to the bathroom in a haze of exhaustion, only to produce a weak, dribbly stream that left him feeling unsatisfied. By morning, he was irritable, sleep-deprived, and plagued by a nagging pelvic discomfort he couldn't shake. When I suggested sitting down to pee at night, Carl looked like I'd asked him to trade his pickup truck for a bicycle. But after a particularly rough week of sleepless nights, he reluctantly agreed to try it. 3 weeks later, Carl walked into my office with a spring in his step and a grin I hadn't seen before. "Doc," he said, his eyes brighter than ever, "I slept 6 hours straight last night, first time in a decade." The change was simple but transformative. By sitting down to pee after 9 p.m., Carl gave his pelvic floor muscles a chance to relax fully, which allowed his bladder to empty more completely. Sitting also eliminated the unconscious rush to finish and get back to bed, reducing the strain on his bladder and prostate. The result? Fewer nighttime trips, less dribbling, and a significant reduction in that persistent pelvic pressure. Carl's story isn't unique. Many men find that this small, humbling adjustment makes a world of difference. Why does sitting down work so well, especially at night? When you sit, your pelvic floor muscles relax more fully than when you stand, allowing the bladder to contract efficiently and empty. This reduces the amount of residual urine left behind, which in turn decreases irritation and inflammation in the bladder and prostate. Sitting also encourages a more mindful approach. You're less likely to rush or tense up, which can lead to incomplete emptying or post-void dribbling. For men over 60, whose prostates may already be enlarged due to BPH, this simple act can significantly reduce the strain on the gland, improve urinary flow, and even help with sleep quality by cutting down on those disruptive nighttime bathroom trips. Making this change doesn't mean you have to sit every time you pee. Focus on nighttime, when your body is most vulnerable. It's not about giving up your identity. It's about making a practical choice to prioritize your health. Think of it like swapping out a heavy bench press for a lighter, safer exercise as you age. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. By adopting this habit, you're giving your prostate a fighting chance to stay healthy and your body the rest it deserves. You might just wake up feeling like a new man, with more energy, better sleep, and a renewed sense of control. Actionable tips to protect your prostate by sitting at night. Make sitting a nighttime ritual. After 9 p.m., commit to sitting down for all bathroom trips. Keep a small stool or seat in the bathroom to make it comfortable and convenient. Relax and take your time. When you sit, take a few deep breaths to relax your pelvic muscles. Don't rush. Let your bladder empty fully, even if it takes an extra 10 to 15 seconds. Optimize your bathroom setup. Ensure your bathroom is well lit to avoid stumbling in the dark, which can lead to rushing or tension. A nightlight can make nighttime trips safer and less stressful. Strengthen pelvic floor muscles. Incorporate Kegel exercises during the day to improve bladder control. To do a Kegel, contract the muscles you'd use to stop urination, hold for 3 to 5 seconds, then release. Repeat 10 to 15 times, 2 to 3 times daily. Limit evening fluids. Reduce fluid intake 2 to 3 hours before bed, especially caffeine or alcohol, which can irritate the bladder and increase nighttime urges. Track your symptoms. If frequent nighttime urination, nocturia, or dribbling persists, consult a urologist to check for BPH, prostatitis, or other conditions. A simple ultrasound or urine flow test can provide clarity. Address post-void dribbling. If you experience dribbling after urination, gently press or milk the urethra, the area under the scrotum, while seated to expel any remaining urine. This humble change might feel like a hit to the ego at first, but it's a small price to pay for better sleep, reduced prostate strain, and a healthier you. Carl's 6-hour sleep streak became his new normal, and it all started with a decision to sit down and let his body do what it needed. Give it a try. You might be surprised at how much better you feel. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 4. Ignoring the urge, a ticking time bomb. The temptation to delay a trip to the bathroom is something most people have experienced at some point. Whether you're caught up in a critical work meeting, engrossed in a thrilling sports game, or simply don't want to pause a Netflix binge, the thought often crosses your mind, "I'll just hold it for now." While this might seem harmless in the moment, habitually ignoring the urge to urinate, particularly as you age, can set the stage for serious prostate and bladder issues. Think of it as playing a dangerous game of Russian roulette with your urinary health, where the stakes get higher with every round. When you consistently delay urination, your bladder is forced to stretch beyond its normal capacity to accommodate the accumulating urine. This overstretching exerts undue pressure on the prostate gland, which sits just below the bladder and surrounds the urethra, the tube through which urine exits the body. Over time, this pressure can irritate and inflame the prostate, contributing to conditions like benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, a non-cancerous enlargement of the prostate that affects many men as they age. BPH can cause a range of bothersome symptoms, including increased urinary urgency, frequent urination, a weak urine stream, and even dribbling or leakage after urination. Moreover, holding in urine weakens the pelvic floor muscles and the detrusor muscle, the bladder's main muscle responsible for contracting to expel urine. These muscles are critical for maintaining control over urination. When they become overstretched or weakened, you're more likely to experience urinary incontinence, where you leak urine involuntarily, or urinary retention, where you can't fully empty your bladder. Both conditions can significantly impact the quality of life and confidence. Additionally, stagnant urine in the bladder creates a breeding ground for bacteria, increasing the risk of urinary tract infections, UTIs. In men, untreated UTIs can sometimes ascend to the prostate, causing prostatitis, an inflammatory condition that can lead to pain, fever, and further urinary complications. Consider the case of Ed, a 66-year-old carpenter who came to my practice with a troubling set of symptoms. Ed's job often required him to work long hours on construction sites without easy access to a bathroom. To cope, he developed a habit of holding his urine for extended periods, sometimes 4 to 6 hours at a stretch. By the time he sought medical attention, Ed was dealing with persistent urinary dribbling, a constant sense of urgency, and even lower back pain caused by an inflamed prostate pressing on surrounding nerves. His prostate-specific antigen, PSA, levels were elevated, and a digital rectal exam revealed an enlarged, tender prostate. Ed's story is a classic example of how a seemingly harmless habit can snowball into chronic discomfort and health complications. The solution for Ed, and for anyone prone to holding their urine, is straightforward but requires discipline. Listen to your body. When you feel the urge to urinate, make it a priority to find a bathroom as soon as possible. Delaying urination not only strains your bladder and prostate but also disrupts the natural signaling between your brain and bladder, which can confuse the urinary system over time. For those with demanding schedules, setting reminders to take bathroom breaks every 2 to 3 hours can be a game changer. Incorporating this small habit into your daily routine can prevent a cascade of prostate-related issues and preserve your urinary health for years to come. If you're already experiencing symptoms like urgency or leakage, Consult a urologist to assess your prostate health and discuss tailored interventions, which may include pelvic floor exercises, lifestyle changes, or, in some cases, medication to manage BPH or prostatitis. 5. Dehydration at night. The sneaky prostate saboteur. It's a common strategy among older adults. Cut back on fluids in the evening to reduce those disruptive nighttime trips to the bathroom. The logic seems sound. Less water in, fewer bathroom breaks, right? Unfortunately, this approach can backfire spectacularly, especially when it comes to your prostate health. Dehydration, particularly at night, is a sneaky saboteur that can exacerbate prostate and bladder issues, leading to worse symptoms than the ones you were trying to avoid in the first place. When you skimp on fluids, especially in the hours leading up to bedtime, your body produces less urine but at a higher concentration. This concentrated urine is more acidic and contains higher levels of waste products, which can irritate the delicate lining of your bladder and prostate. Over time, this irritation can contribute to inflammation of the prostate, prostatitis, or worsen existing conditions like BPH. An irritated bladder is also more likely to send urgent signals to your brain, even when it's not full, leading to those frustrating nighttime urges to urinate, medically known as nocturia. Nocturia not only disrupts sleep but can also signal underlying prostate issues that need attention. Let's look at the case of Bob, a 70-year-old retired high school teacher who came to my clinic frustrated by his sleep patterns. For years, Bob had been limiting his fluid intake after 6 p.m., hoping to avoid waking up multiple times at night to urinate. Despite his efforts, he was still getting up 3 to 4 times a night, often feeling parched and uncomfortable. His concentrated urine was irritating his bladder and prostate, which was mildly enlarged due to BPH. This created a vicious cycle. Dehydration worsened his prostate inflammation, which in turn increased his nighttime urges, further disrupting his sleep and leaving him fatigued during the day. The fix for Bob was a strategic shift in his hydration habits, and the results were transformative. Instead of cutting out fluids entirely in the evening, we encouraged him to spread his water intake evenly throughout the day, aiming for 6 to 8 glasses, about 48 to 64 ounces, total. This steady hydration kept his urine dilute, reducing irritation to his bladder and prostate. We also advised him to have a small sip of water before bed, not enough to overfill his bladder, but enough to prevent dehydration during the night. Within a few weeks, Bob's nighttime bathroom trips dropped from 3 or 4 to 1 or 2, and his daytime urinary flow improved noticeably. He also reported feeling more energized, as proper hydration supported his overall health. The key takeaway here is that your prostate and bladder thrive on balance. Chronic dehydration, even if intentional, can do more harm than good by concentrating urine and inflaming sensitive tissues. To optimize prostate health, aim to drink water consistently throughout the day, starting early and tapering off slightly in the evening to avoid overloading your bladder. If you're prone to nocturia, avoid bladder irritants like caffeine, alcohol, and acidic foods, such as citrus or spicy dishes, in the late afternoon and evening, as these can exacerbate urgency. If symptoms persist despite these changes, consider consulting a urologist to rule out underlying conditions like BPH, prostatitis, or even early signs of prostate cancer. Blood tests, such as PSA levels, and imaging studies may be recommended to get a clearer picture of your prostate health. By prioritizing timely urination and balanced hydration, you can take proactive steps to protect your prostate and maintain urinary health well into your later years. These small, intentional habits can make a world of difference, helping you avoid the discomfort and complications that come with neglecting your body's natural signals. Gentlemen, we've just uncovered the 5 toilet habits that could be silently harming your prostate, and the simple changes that can transform your health, your sleep, and your quality of life. From pausing a little longer to sitting down at night, these small shifts can make a world of difference. I've seen men like you, fathers, grandfathers, warriors, reclaim their confidence and freedom by making these changes, and I know you can too. So, what's one thing you've learned today that hit home? Maybe it's the pause that protects, or the surprising link between straining and prostate pain. Drop a comment below and share the one habit you're ready to change in your life. It might just inspire someone else. If you found this video helpful, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more real-world tips to keep you thriving. Take care of your prostate, and it'll take care of you.